never allow myself to get that hydration, that dehydrated. And so if you don't know what dehydration looks like, because a lot of people don't, you may not either have experienced it, or you may have experienced it and not even know you experienced it. But things to look out for. If your urine is dark, it'll look more of start to like a dark yellow. Okay. If you get muscle fatigue, dizziness, extreme thirst, if you seem like you're not able to really sweat anymore, those are signs. So check yourself and see, hey, have I been drinking water?
Hey there! Welcome to Your Health Moment with Dr. Fitness. On this podcast, I want to give you the tools to start, continue, and never give up on your journey towards health. Whether you struggle with your weight, eating the right food, drinking enough water, exercise, or even time management, you are in the right place. And I'm here for you. If you want to take the next step on your health journey, I'd invite you to reach out to me and we'll put together a plan that starts right where you are. So get in touch with me directly at www.iamdrfitness.com or my Instagram at iamdrfitness, and it's spelled I-A-M-D-R Fitness. My name, Dr. Fitness, and this is Your Health Moment. All right, let the shenanigans begin.
Hey, welcome. I am Dr. Fitness, and this is a show all about hydration. Now, I made hydration the first focus of my 5 areas of fitness focus, and you're probably wondering why. The short answer is the human body is made up of 70% water. And this is why I chose proper hydration as the first pillar of focus. According to the National Library of Medicine, approximately 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. Now, chronic dehydration is a condition when dehydration recurs for longer periods of time. Now, sometimes, regardless of how much fluid you take in on a particular day, you still can suffer from chronic dehydration. Now, I recommend that everyone attempt to consistently drink about a gallon of water a day, okay, to stay hydrated. Now, it's as close to that gallon as you possibly can, because some people will have more or less requirement for hydration. But I found that when people can measure it and think gallon, they do really well and they're much more consistent. So trust me on this. If you think gallon, you'll be more consistent. Now, if you're not doing that, you could be setting yourself up for chronic dehydration. On the other hand, most people are prone to acute dehydration under certain circumstances, such as extreme heat exposure. And we all know, and we're seeing the signs of global warming. So we're going to be warmer a lot more than we have in the past. So be mindful that because of that and a lot of other factors like prolonged physical activity, you could be experiencing more typical acute cases of dehydration. Now, they can be resolved by resting and making sure you drink that gallon of water a day. Okay? It's that combination. But remember, the resting part is a really big part of it. But chronic dehydration passes the point of simply using more fluid than you take in. Instead, it becomes an ongoing issue where you're forcing your body to function without enough water. Now, each one of your organs require a certain amount of hydration because they're mostly water. So chronic hydration, when significant, would require prompt medical attention because it can lead to other conditions like high blood pressure, kidney stones, and other ailments that come as a result of your organs not having the hydration they need. Okay. Now I've learned the importance of hydration when I was really young. I had a very observant mother who just happened to be a nurse. And when I was 8, my brother Mike purchased me my first bike. Now that bike had a big old banana seat and it was yellow, and I love that bike. Okay. I was allowed to ride in about a 3-block radius of my house. And I would go at the beginning of the day and I would ride all day and not even think about coming home. Okay. But it was really kind of cool. I'm telling you, this was the heyday of feeling independent. So at the time, it seemed like I was able to go really far. Those 3 blocks seemed far. But during that radius, I was able to meet other kids, and we would ride and play games the entire day until the street lights turned on. And that was our cue to go back home. But I'll never forget the day when I returned home. I had a headache and I was crazy exhausted to the point where I could barely stand. Now, my mom saw me and immediately asked how much water did I have? What did I have to drink that day? And I didn't remember drinking anything. And that's what I told her. So she decided it would be best to put me in bed and feed me watermelon. Okay. So my mom put me to bed and I was allowed to have watermelon in the bed. And if you know anything about eating watermelon in the bed is normally not a good idea. And it is normally not encouraged. But I knew it was important that I eat it if she allowed me to eat it in bed. Okay. So she allowed me to eat watermelon in bed. And that's probably the reasons that it really sticks with me to this day, because since then I've never been allowed to eat watermelon in the bed again. But after 2 days, I started to feel better. So being dehydrated for that period kind of wiped me out for longer than, like over a day, like 2 days. So my mom warned me never to forget to drink. And I got a really cool canteen that she gave me after that day. And it was shaped like a gun. So I could wear it like a holster across my body, right? It was like a gun holster, but really it was a water bottle. And I used to love that thing. So I'd whip it out, drink my water, and fill it up with hoses when I saw hoses. But it was just a cool way to like drink your water. I felt like pretty cool with my gun water bottle. But now, hey, what I've learned is never allow myself to get that hydration, that dehydrated. And so if you don't know what dehydration looks like, because a lot of people don't, you may not either have experienced it or you may have experienced it and not even know you experienced it, but things to look out for. If your urine is dark, it'll look more of start to like a dark yellow. Okay. If you get muscle fatigue, dizziness, extreme thirst, if you seem like you're not able to really sweat anymore, those are signs. So check yourself and see, hey, have I been drinking water? You want to really stay on top of that. I find that everybody is different. And there are a lot of other different combinations of symptoms to actually determine if you're dehydrated or not. But to make it super simple, if you have a gallon water jug, carry it with you and take 10 gulps every time you think about it. And that should be approximately every 20 to 30 minutes. Gulp, 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 particular if you're in an area that's, if you're really warm or you're exerting yourself in some way. Now, if carrying a gallon jug is too big and too awkward, because I hear this all the time, I don't want to carry a gallon. Okay, well, put the gallon somewhere and then have smaller bottles that you can fill up and you carry the smaller ones with you. But it's important to have that gallon jug somewhere in your vicinity because it's the measuring that you need to make sure that you're getting enough. Most of the time when people drink bottle after bottle after bottle, they lose the bottles and they don't track as well the amount of hydration that they have. So to make sure that all that doesn't happen for you, stick to the gallon. But if you want to carry something smaller, then find a bottle or something that's more your style to carry with you, but definitely carry it with you. And don't just carry it. It's really important that you actually drink it. Okay. Now you don't have to experience all these symptoms that I mentioned to be suffering from dehydration. Okay. But in my opinion, it's better to be safe than sorry. I believe it's important to let your body actually organically tell you how much you should be drinking. You know, the thing is, most people just don't know how to track their drinking habits. So this is why I recommend, one more time, the gallon water jug. Okay. So all those things that, oh no, this is a serious water drinker. Oh my God. Well, who do you think he is carrying around that gallon of water? Don't even let those people get to you. Okay. Ignore them. So carry your water. It's a great tracking mechanism. It's going to help you. It's an easier way to avoid dehydration because you have a system that's really easy to gauge your water intake. Okay. Now, every day you're drinking a gallon, you're doing well. But if you're experiencing any signs of dehydration, you most likely will need additional rest because that rest is really important when it comes to making sure that you're coming out of chronic dehydration or dehydration. The rest piece is important. So do your best if you can. Don't overthink it, but drink and make sure you rest. When looking back at the times that I've seen clients challenged by dehydration, I've noticed that they really perform well during their sessions. And a lot of times they're just not even aware that that could potentially be an issue, that dehydration is one of them things when people feel sluggish that doesn't even pop up on their radar as something that it could be. It's one of those things that just can sneak up on you. So you might feel thirsty or you could feel lightheaded. It may sneak up on you and not be obvious. Let's say you're feeling fatigued. You may not realize that it's actually coming from dehydration. Some people feel hungry and eat when they actually need water. Okay. So the more familiar you get, the easier it will be to differentiate between whether you are hydrated and dehydrated. When you're out and about, don't just think about water, but actually drink it. Don't just carry a water bottle, but actually drink it. And a way to make sure that you actually drink it is every time you put that water bottle up to your mouth, you do not lower it until you take at least 10 gulps. Okay. So 10 gulp. Take 10 gulps, at least 10 gulps. Remember, your organs are made up of mostly water. So it's vital that you're drinking plenty of water, or your body simply won't function at its best. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode on hydration. And if you want more information on dehydration or proper hydration, my contact information is in the show notes. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter. All right. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Your Health Moment. Learning what tools will help you to live a life you love is so important. And I encourage you to check out some of the other episodes. If you're ready to take the next step for your health, I'd love to have that conversation. Head over to www.iamdrfitness.com or go to my Instagram at iamdrfitness, and that's spelled IAMDR Fitness. To get in touch with me, and we will put together a plan that starts right where you are today. My name is Dr. Fitness, and I will see you next time on Your Health Moment.